A short analysis of Purdah I by Imtiaz Dharker. Imtiaz Dharker. She is one of Britain's most inspirational contemporary poets. Born in Pakistan in 1954, Dharker was brought up in Scotland. She married an Indian and now shuttles between India and London. Dharker belongs to the generation of post-independence women poets who have proved that Indian English poetry can be simple, suggestive, and highly evocative too. Being a spirited poet, Dharker has also scripted and directed 100 films and audio visuals centering on education and rehabilitation center for women and children. Dharker has won the Queen's Gold Medal for her English poetry and was appointed Chancellor of Newcastle University in England from January 2020. Dharker has composed a number of poems which are compiled into 7 collections. Purdah, which was published in the year 1989, Postcards from the God, I Speak for the Devil, The Terrorist at My Table, Leaving Fingerprints, Over the Moon, and the latest one is Luck in the Hook, which was published in the year 2018. The main themes of Dharker's poetry include home, freedom, cultural displacement, communal conflict, and gender politics. What is a Purdah? The term Purdah has its origin in Persian language, which means curtain, which was used to conceal women from men. About the poem Purdah. There is also another poem written by Imitaz Dharker. It is called Purdah II. And this poem, Purdah I, is a discreet protest poem. The poem is an eloquent criticism of the tradition of veil, strictly sanctioned and imposed on Muslim women. In the poem Purdah I, Imitaz Dharker represents 2 inferences: physical segregation of the sexes, the requirement for women to cover their bodies and conceal their form. I'll read out the poem first. Purdah I. One day they said she was old enough to learn some shame. She found it came quite naturally. Purdah is a kind of safety. The body finds a place to hide. The cloth fans out against the skin, much like the earth that falls on coffins after they put dead men in. In the first stanza, it is understood that when a girl reaches her pubic age, the world starts seeing her as an object. Thus she responds by taking purdah or veil. Veil becomes a refuge for women where they feel safe. However, it is also a symbol of oppression and a sign of alienation from one's own self. According to Dharker, women who wore purdah are emotionless, like a dead man inside the coffin. Purdah not only confines a woman's body, but also her spirit, her mind, and her individual agency are buried inside the purdah. People she has known stand up, sit down, as they have always done. But they make different angles in the light. Their eyes are slant, a little sly. In this third stanza, the poet says, when veil is imposed on a girl, it becomes a turning point in a girl's life. Because she is suddenly reminded of her sexuality and is made conscious of her sexual growth. This creates a certain kind of awkwardness, as people have started looking at her in a different way. She half remembers things from someone else's life, perhaps from yours or mine, carefully carrying what we do not own. Between the thighs, a sense of sin. We sit still, letting the cloth grow a little closer to our skin. A light filters inward through our body's walls. Voices speak inside us, echoing in the spaces we have just left. Here the poet says how a woman is only seen as an object to gratify the sexual needs of a man. She is seen as a childbearing machine, and her aim is to keep her family satisfied. She has no identity of her own, and even her sexuality is not her own. It belongs to the man she marries, and he owns her body as he is the master. She stands outside herself, sometimes in all 4 corners of a room. Wherever she goes, She is always inching past herself, as if she were a clod of earth, and the roots as well, scratching for a hold between the first and the second rib, passing constantly out of her own hands into the corner of someone else's eyes, while doors keep opening inward and again inward. Here the poet says, the girl who uses purdah becomes accustomed to it. Oppression is deep in the psyche of women, and purdah becomes a window shuttered upon a private world. Purdah is decimated to a clod of earth, a dying tree whose roots struggle to balance and withstand. The poet further states, purdah prevents women from exercising their freedom as an individual. The space of a woman is limited to her own world within her room. It restricts her personal, social, and economic activities outside her home. Thus, purdah confines the vision of a woman as well as her experience in life. What do you understand from the poem? Our society is cautious and conscious to teach some manners, decorum, and dignity which women in purdah should maintain. The poem identifies the pathetic situation of Islamic society which suppresses the true self of women. There is no doubt the poem influences women to think critically and emancipate themselves from a society of deep-rooted conservatism. Thank you.